If you remember my Soundpeats Mini Pro review, I thought that they were actually pretty good, but the price was a little on the high side. Well, the Soundpeats T3 actually sounds almost quite as good, but it's more affordable, and I think I can recommend these easier. Hey guys, we have the Soundpeats T3 with us today, and at $40 US, it's quite hard not to recommend these. Before we get into the review, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on upcoming videos. So, let's talk design. These come in a black plastic case that's unfortunately still quite prone to these scuffs and scratches. I haven't even dropped these yet. These are just scuffs from being rubbed against stuff in my bag. The good part here though is that the case is relatively resilient to skin oils from your fingers and such. So yeah. There's a charging LED that also serves as a case battery indicator. Although it's quite vague, a green light means that there's 50 to 99% battery, a yellow light is 10% to 49%, and a red light means the case has under 10% battery. On the side of the case, you get an off-centered USB-C charging port. While I'm very thankful for the inclusion of USB-C here, the off-centered placement kinda just drives me nuts. But I guess it's a small price to pay. As for the earbuds, they're the standard stem design, which is fine. They sit securely enough in the ear for me with the medium-sized tips, so yeah. Moving on to the app, I actually faced the same problem that I encountered with the Soundpeats Mini Pro, which is that the app doesn't seem to support these earbuds. Now, I was informed by a viewer that the app was actually updated to support the Mini Pro, and that's great, right? But I mean, is it really so hard to just include support for all the company's earbud models? Well, no touch control customization here, and no EQ, anything of the sort. As for touch controls, they're decent. You get single taps controlling the volume, left side lowers and right side raises the volume. Double tap on either side for play-pause, and a triple tap on either side pulls up your device's voice assistant. A long press and hold on the left toggles ANC, pass-through or off, while a long press on the right skips tracks forward. Again, there's that same problem where you can't skip tracks backwards, and I think Soundpeats might just be leaving that feature out for the more affordable options. Although the Mini Pro isn't really affordable, it's kind of like their flagship, right? But still, I mean, because there's no touch control customization, it's a bit of a bummer here. You get ANC with these, and the performance is okay. With ANC on and music playing, it did remove an average amount of noise, although higher pitched stuff still comes through. Train rumbles and commute sounds are also somewhat dampened, although you still hear people talking if they're close to you. That being said, Soundpeats does say that these only cancel out around 24 decibels of noise, which is definitely lower than a lot of other earbuds that are advertising 45 decibel noise cancellation, so you do need to temper your expectations here. These run on Bluetooth 5.2, and that's great. Personally, I think that all earbuds released in 2022 should be running on Bluetooth 5.2 at this point. There's only SBC and AAC support though, which means that, you know, there's no aptX and stuff, but I think that that's kind of understandable seeing as, you know, these are so cheap. As for battery life, Soundpeats claims around 5.5 hours in the earbuds and an extra 2 charges in the case for a total of around 17 hours. I did find that relatively accurate. I got slightly over 5 hours with ANC on, so yeah, pretty decent. There's also IPX4 water resistance, which means that, you know, these will hold up fine to sweat and the likes if you're planning on bringing them out for exercise. Microphone quality is okay. My voice was typically clear, although there wasn't a lot of background noise reduction when I was outdoors. Indoors in a quiet environment though, they sound fine. As for sound quality, what you get here is actually really dependent on how loud you listen to your music. Personally, I tend to listen at around 30% volume, maybe 40 to 50 if the earbuds are soft. With these, I am comfortably at around 20 to 25% because these are actually pretty loud. And at around 20%, these actually sound great. But when you bump the volume up to around 50, these actually start to distort. And you actually notice this particularly in the upper registers. So, if you're used to listening at higher volumes, first of all, please protect your ears. Second of all, these might not be for you. But let's talk about how these sound at a lower volume. The bass is present for sure, but it's not overwhelming and boomy. There's a slight emphasis here, but it's quite well controlled and you do get that impact. As for the mids, I'd say it's okay. The lower mids are pretty good, as are the upper mids, with vocals being a bit more forward than usual in the mix. Unfortunately, you do lose detail when it comes to instruments and even in lower pitched vocals. Voices in that range just don't quite sound as full. Treble is decent at lower volumes. They're not particularly detailed again, but you do get a tiny bit of sparkle, which is good. Of course, for me, I would have liked a bit more, but come on, how much more can you expect out of a pair of earbuds that only cost $40 US? The one good part about these earbuds for me is that the imaging is actually quite decent. You get a good sense of separation and the stereo imaging is not too bad. Of course, don't expect pinpoint accuracy or a really wide soundstage, but for the price, I'm pleasantly surprised. I couldn't quite recommend the Mini Pro at $80 US, but for these, they're actually a really good option under 50 bucks. Anyway, those are my thoughts on the Soundpeats T3 earbuds. If you guys have any comments or questions, leave them down below. Don't forget to subscribe to us and like this video. Till next one, see you guys!